This video contains a message that could completely change how you see your relationship. That nagging feeling you have about another woman in your partner's life, the one keeping you up at night, might be leading you down a completely wrong path. What if I told you there is no other woman? The truth is actually more brutal and complicated than infidelity. It explains the emotional distance, the missed calls, the lack of intimacy, the sudden mood changes, all of it. But it's not what you think. I need you to stay with me because what I'm about to reveal is something most relationship coaches won't tell you. It's uncomfortable, it's painful, but understanding it could save your relationship while you're still torturing yourself looking in all the wrong places. This isn't about catching a cheater. It's about seeing what's really happening right in front of you that's far more concerning than another woman. Every day you spend convinced there's another woman, you're actually pushing your relationship closer to the breaking point. The accusations, the silent treatments, the phone checking, they're creating the very distance you fear. This isn't a small misunderstanding. This is about completely misreading what's happening with your partner and potentially losing them because you're fighting the wrong battle. The emotional toll isn't just on you. While you're trapped in suspicion, the real issue is growing worse, untreated and unacknowledged. There's a limited window to address what's actually happening before permanent damage is done to your connection. Many relationships end not because there was another person, but because neither partner understood what was really creating the distance. By the time they figure it out, too much hurt has accumulated, too many words can't be taken back. Don't let that be your story. I understand what you're going through. The subtle changes are real. The way they pull away when you reach for them, the constant distraction, the emotional unavailability, the decreased interest in intimacy. You're not imagining these changes. Your intuition that something is wrong is absolutely correct. Those late nights at work, the emotional distance, the password changes on their phone, these are all legitimate reasons for concern. The confusion you feel when they insist nothing's wrong while clearly pulling away is maddening. The mixed signals leave you feeling crazy, desperate, and increasingly insecure. You've probably tried everything. Romantic gestures, serious talks, giving space, not giving space. Maybe you've even considered couples therapy. The fact that nothing seems to work makes you feel even more certain there must be someone else. I want you to know your feelings are valid, but there's something crucial you're missing. What looks like the behavior of someone having an affair is often something entirely different. The emotional withdrawal, the irritability, the decreased interest in activities they once enjoyed, including intimacy with you, these can all be symptoms of internal struggles that have nothing to do with another person. Your partner might be battling with undiagnosed depression, crippling anxiety, or burnout that they can't even name themselves. They might be facing a crisis of purpose, questioning their career path or life decisions. Perhaps they're dealing with financial stress they're too ashamed to share, family issues they don't want to burden you with, or health concerns they're trying to ignore. Men especially aren't taught to recognize or express emotional distress. Instead of saying, "I'm struggling," they often simply withdraw. Women might internalize their struggles, believing they should be able to handle everything without complaint. The irritability when you ask questions isn't necessarily guilt about another woman. It could be frustration at not having answers themselves about why they feel so disconnected. The late nights might be attempts to numb feelings through work or solitude, rather than secret rendezvous. This isn't about another woman. It's about an internal battle your partner is losing, alone. Here's the brutal truth. There is no other woman. Instead, there is a growing void inside your partner that they don't understand and can't communicate. There is a depression they may not even recognize as depression. There is anxiety they're trying to handle on their own. There is an identity crisis they're ashamed to admit. This truth is actually harder to face than infidelity. With cheating, there's a clear villain, a specific problem to address. But how do you fight an invisible enemy within the person you love? How do you compete with their own internal demons? Your partner isn't pulling away because they found someone better. They're pulling away because they no longer recognize themselves. They're distant because they're trying to protect you from their own confusion and darkness. They're emotionally unavailable because they have nothing left to give right now. They might be as confused by their behavior as you are. Depression doesn't announce itself with a formal diagnosis. Anxiety doesn't always present as obvious panic. Existential crises don't come with warning labels. The person you love isn't being taken from you by someone else. They're disappearing into themselves, and they're scared too. Understanding this truth changes everything about how you approach your relationship. The anger you felt thinking about her transforms into concern for your partner. The strategies change from surveillance to support, from accusation to compassion. There's relief in knowing there's no betrayal, but this new understanding brings its own weight. It's easier in some ways to blame another person than to recognize your partner is suffering in ways you can't immediately fix. This knowledge creates an opportunity for profound connection. When you stop looking for evidence of another woman and start seeing signs of internal struggle, conversations change. Your questions become different. Your presence becomes a safe harbor rather than an interrogation room. Many couples report that working through these internal battles together created a deeper intimacy than they had before. There's something powerful about being truly seen when you're at your lowest, about having someone who recognizes your struggle before you can even name it yourself. Your relationship isn't being threatened by a rival. It's being challenged to evolve, to accommodate the full humanity of your partner, including their struggles, their darkness, and their pain. This is the real test of love, not whether you can keep them from someone else, but whether you can help them find themselves again. We're trained by movies and social media to recognize the signs of cheating, but rarely taught to spot the signs of mental health struggles or existential crisis. The emotional unavailability of depression looks remarkably similar to the withdrawal of someone with divided affections. When someone says, "I need space," or "I'm just tired," we hear potential excuses rather than literal truths. Your partner might actually be exhausted, not from secret encounters, but from battling their own mind every day. Phone guarding might not be hiding conversations with another woman, but hiding job searches after being laid off, financial problems they're ashamed of, or even medical research about symptoms they're experiencing. The cruel irony is that our suspicion often makes their internal struggle worse. Every accusation pushes them further into isolation. Every demand for reassurance when they have none to give deepens their sense of failure and inadequacy. Their problem isn't too many connections. It's that they feel completely alone, even with you. If this message is resonating with you, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to my channel. These insights come from working with hundreds of couples on the brink of separation, who discovered their real issues weren't what they initially thought. Your support helps me reach more people who are stuck in the same painful cycle you're experiencing. I know this topic is deeply personal, but that's exactly why it needs to be discussed more openly. Stay with me, because next I'm going to give you specific strategies for how to approach your partner when you recognize these signs. First, change your approach from interrogation to invitation. Instead of "Who are you texting?" try, "I've noticed you seem overwhelmed lately. How can I support you?" Create safety for vulnerability. Men especially have been conditioned to hide struggle. Say explicitly, "I want to understand what you're going through. Nothing you share will make me think less of you." Timing matters tremendously. Don't try to have this conversation when either of you is tired, hungry, or distracted. Choose a calm moment without time pressure. Watch for defensive reactions and don't take them personally. If they respond with anger or dismissal, simply say, "I'm here when you're ready to talk. I'm not going anywhere." Suggest activities that reduce pressure but allow connection. Walks, driving, or working on projects side by side often make conversation easier than face-to-face intensity. Consider writing a letter if conversations keep escalating. Sometimes reading words privately allows the message to land more gently. If they admit to struggling, resist the urge to immediately fix or solve. Simply listening, validating, and saying that sounds really difficult can be more healing than advice. Remember, your partner's internal crisis isn't about you, even though it affects you deeply. Their healing journey belongs to them, but your understanding can make all the difference. Be prepared for denial. Many people, especially men, have spent decades being told to suck it up or power through. Admitting to depression or anxiety feels like admitting weakness to them. Your own hurt feelings create barriers too. It's natural to feel rejected or resentful when someone withdraws. These feelings can leak into your tone even when your words are supportive. Cultural and family backgrounds significantly impact how internal struggles are viewed. Some cultures have strong stigmas against acknowledging mental health challenges. Watch for unhealthy coping mechanisms that complicate the situation. Increased alcohol use, gaming addiction, overworking, or risky behaviors often accompany internal crises. Professional help might be necessary, but suggesting therapy can feel threatening. Instead of saying, "You need therapy," try, "I'm thinking of talking to someone about how to be more supportive during difficult times. Would you consider coming with me?" The path forward isn't linear. Expect progress followed by setbacks, openness followed by withdrawal. Consistency and patience are your most powerful tools. How will you know if you're making progress? Look for small openings rather than dramatic breakthroughs. A single honest comment about feeling overwhelmed is worth celebrating. Notice when defensiveness decreases even slightly. If conversations that once ended in slammed doors now end in quiet disagreement, that's improvement. Watch for moments of re-engagement with activities they once enjoyed. These often return gradually. A passing interest in cooking again, picking up a forgotten hobby for an afternoon. Physical reconnection often follows emotional reconnection. A spontaneous touch or seeking physical closeness can signal thawing, emotional frost. True healing is happening when they begin talking about the future again. Depression and anxiety often make the future seem pointless or overwhelming. Renewed interest in plans signals returning hope. The strongest indicator is when your partner begins to name their own struggles. "I think I might be dealing with anxiety," or "I've been feeling lost lately." This self-awareness is the foundation for lasting change. If you've recognized your relationship in this video, I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Was there a moment when you realized your partner was struggling rather than straying? What helped you break through? For additional resources, I've created a guide called "When They're Distant: Conversation Starters That Create Connection Instead of Conflict." You'll find the link in the description. Your experiences help others feel less alone, so please share this video with someone who might need this message today. And if you found value here, consider supporting the channel so we can continue creating content that transforms relationships. Remember, that looking for another woman, when the real issue is internal suffering, is like treating a broken arm with cough medicine. You're addressing the wrong problem entirely. The path forward requires courage, both yours and theirs. It requires seeing beyond behaviors to the pain driving them. It means being willing to stand beside someone who can't currently give you what you need emotionally. But relationships that survive these challenges often emerge stronger, with deeper understanding and more authentic connection. Sometimes the most loving thing you can do isn't fighting to keep someone from leaving, but fighting to help them find themselves again. That's real love.